So, routines. Does your dog need one? And why? I can't tell you exactly what your schedule will look like because your life and my life are completely different, so I'll have to leave that up to you, but these are the guidelines that I'm giving you. A routine helps establish rest and sleep patterns. It's good for consistency if there's change in your life, such as you move house or need someone else to care for your dog for a while. You can keep elements of that routine in place to help keep your dog calm and settled. It's good for getting your dog used to what times of the day you will be leaving the house. Routine makes potty training easier because you can fall into a regular and predictable poop schedule. This is something that was very useful when I used to work with assistance dogs because obviously they can't just go whenever they feel like it. Regular meal times aid digestion. Regular walks, grooming and health check activities hold us accountable for our dog's care. It aids for a stronger bond and trust if the dog knows you are dependable and consistent. Routine also aids in our planning for calm. I did a whole video on day planning to help to ease your dog's stress, which you can see here, and I'll add a link in the description. So uncertainty and inconsistency elevate cortisol levels in dogs. What is cortisol? Cortisol is the stress hormone. It's made by your adrenal glands and it helps to manage the fight and flight response in dogs and humans as well. So a study published in Animals found that shelter dogs on consistent routines had significantly lower cortisol levels than those without a routine. Predictability signals safety at the end of the day, and when dogs feel safe, they're more relaxed, more focused, and more secure. So routine's often particularly good for anxious and secure dogs, as it gives them an idea of the shape of their day, what's going to happen, and allows them to feel safer. This has to be taken with a word of caution though. If the routine's too rigid and not fluid enough, it can actually lead to an increase in stress in your dog. If you feed or walk your dog on a schedule where it's on the dot every single day, as that event draws closer and the dog is anticipating some exciting event or other to take place, it can actually lead for an increase in arousal triggered by the anticipation. So while a loose routine is a really valuable thing, it's best not to make it too rigid or it can backfire. It's also a good idea to engineer a bit of flexibility in there in case plans change, which sometimes they do. Unexpected things happen, and even expected things like changing into or out of daylight savings time. I think many of us have experienced that, demanding you to get out of bed an hour earlier just because the clocks have changed and they don't know. Some dogs can just get bored if things are too repetitive and predictable. So yes, routine is good, but aim for predictability and consistency without making an overly strict or monotonous schedule for your dog. You can still mix things up a bit to keep life exciting. A flexible routine is particularly useful when dealing with puppies or newly adopted dogs to help them to get settled into life with you. If they have a bit of a heads up about what's going to happen, it helps them to settle into a routine with you and to learn when to be quiet, when to be active, and so on. Routines can also be really useful for senior dogs. They might be suffering from cognitive decline and get a little bit confused or worried, so that routine helps give them a healthy structure from which to work and to feel safe. Now, if you've got a routine established and you need to change that, try not to worry too much. You're not going to wreck your dog's life, but do try, if you can, if at all possible, to introduce changes gradually. If your work schedule is going to change or you're going to be away, try and gradually change the dog's routine to get them accustomed to that. But life is messy, and I know that's not always possible, which is another reason why having a routine is useful, because there's usually some elements that can remain consistent even in periods of change or upheaval. The time that I find most challenging for maintaining a routine is when we take Colby on holiday, because obviously we're not in our usual surroundings. We're living in a van rather than a house, travelling from place to place, and he'll be seeing all kinds of new things and new people. But there's still things that you can keep the same. We can keep his feeding times the same. We can keep his rest times similar, certainly his bedtimes usually. And although routines are useful for dogs, they don't run on clockwork. They're able to deal with some change. The main thing is that you're routinely consistent with your dog in the way you interact with them. You need to be your dog's safe space and a secure place for them to explore from and interact with the world. If you've got that sorted, you're doing a grand job. So if you found this video useful, please hit the subscribe button. There's lots of other useful videos on my channel. Leave me a comment below to let me know what consistent activities you and your dog share each day and how it affects your relationship. I'd love to hear from you. Till next time.